Okay, next one's from Great Greatness, and the subject is Meltzer versus Cornette. I know that you guys rightfully have buried the Dave Meltzer marks out there, and that they'll take his opinions or news as 100% fact, no matter how many times he's been proven wrong over and over again. What I want to know is, what's the difference between Meltzer fans and Cornette's fans? Jim Cornette fans seem to wait for him to tell them how to think, and even try to pass off his rants, nicknames, and catchphrases as their own. What do you guys think?
Okay, let me just say this real quick, because I'm going to give this to you and Joe, because you guys know their fan base way better than I do. But you got to remember, bro, the guy, I think he calls himself Cult of Cornette.
Yes.
Okay. And so he's got a little cult following, and we've got our followers that use our catchphrases, keep our gags going. It's a sign of good connection with your fan base, unless you're resorting to like violent or helpful rhetoric. But we got our fans that do that too. But what's the difference in their fan bases? You guys that know them a little better than me.
The Cornette fans hate AEW, hate the Elite, hate Omega, hate the Bucks. The Meltzer fan base, like they hate Meltzer. That Meltzer thinks that those guys are out of touch. You know, right. Cornette, right? But bro, this is the tribalism of wrestling. It's like you have influence. You influence the people that listen to you every week. Like, right. So we influence our listeners. They kind of think the Russo, like the Russo brand, the Cult of Cornette, the Meltzer marks, the AEW, like the
Pritchard guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, there's all
here's what happens.
The Bishop, the ad-free show guys. You know,
But
they have a big. I was gonna say, they have a big weekend once a year, the ad-free show guys, where all the fans come and visit, and they set it all up. I think one year was at Conrad's house, you know. So yeah,
that's too nerdy for me. But here's the thing: what happens is, Glenn, is when they find out you don't like somebody, they don't like them either.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So if you're continuously,
Well, they're like sheep. They're like propaganda, and you consume. Well,
I don't say sheep. They're like, these are my boys, and I'm gonna ride with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how they look at it. Yeah.
Next, this is an interesting story because I didn't know nothing about this. It's from Gary Hans. Right. Subject is Hammerstone. It was written in the dirt sheets this week, and the MLW refusing to release Alexander Hammerstone from his contract, which runs out in 2025, despite the fact they're not using him right now and haven't booked him for months. My question is, why are they doing this? Hammerstone is hardly a giant draw for them, but they're not doing monster business, so why keep him under contract? And what's up with MLW signing guys at such long-term deals? Heard that Jacob Fatu is stuck with MLW until 2025-26. Such a weird business move in my eyes, and what does K100 think? I knew nothing about this Hammerstone thing, but I would suggest this is the court, just by reading this, okay? And I don't know a lot of the people there, but I know Hammerstone is kind of like a locker room leader guy. You know, has like good influence in the locker room, and like he's a good guy. I like Hammerstone, and I'm wondering if he's got heat, and I don't know. It's like, well, the bro court is trying to make MLW into a bigger deal than it is. So you have to sign guys to long-term deals so you don't lose your talent. You know, to like stuff that's not his fault. I mean, he's just that's from a business perspective. That's smart on court, but I don't know why he would be treating Hammerstone like this. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything about it, but I did work there, and at the end of the day, for this guy that sent this question, you don't want to invest time, money, ideas, and then have them leave. So you have to secure them the contracts. I know I got this guy for 4 years. Right. Yeah. Got this guy for 4 years. I can with him, right. And hey, contracts are what they are. What at the time is a good idea, maybe in a year it isn't. So you have to be very smart about signing contracts. And they're probably like, I'm thinking to myself, if the guy says they haven't used them in months, right?
Yeah.
Did he say that or no?
Yeah, months. That means for months.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're probably teaching him a lesson or something. So, because if they're not giving you work and they're not letting you out of your contract, there's got to be some point of contention there.
Try to find out for next week's show.
I got a report here. It's from Fightful. It says there were big plans set for Hammerstone, who would have joined forces with Cardona and Davey Boy Smith Jr. for a stable, the World Titan Federation. Hammerstone was open to the idea at first, but later changed his mind, preferring to work with Alex Kane or Jacob Fatu again. Those on the MLW side of things state that Hammerstone had, quote, checked out by then. He would request his release shortly after that, and it also says Hammerstone expected to see a big bump in pay for his next contract. So maybe,
they're trying to devalue
money or
right, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, he's still young, bro. He'll
he's not that young. He's not that young.
Isn't he like 32?
Look how old he is, Joe.
Yeah,
not that young. He's been around a while, dude. He's been in FSW.
Bro, he's not over 35.
Oh yeah, he's 30. He's 32. He's 32.
He's only 32.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have been really young when he was at FSW back then.
Yeah,
he's always been in really good shape.
Because I recommend. He had what's this guy's name? Court had asked me about him, right? And at first I go, I don't think he's that good because I saw him in a match, and then I remembered who I saw him with, and I go, okay, maybe the match was bad because the guy that he wrestled was bad. So I went and I rewatched him, and I was like, oh, dude, you got to sign this guy up. And I looked up his age, and I was like, wow, he's pretty young because this is like 5 years ago, bro.
Yeah, he started in 2013. He must have been 22. So when you saw him at FSW, it says here he started there in 2014. He was only a year in the business.
Yeah, interesting. All right, this is an interesting one
from
Kevin Gilroy. Subject is, can we admit this yet? Cody recently referred to MJF as a proven draw for AEW. Really? Because lately all I'm seeing is 70% empty venues and record-breaking low viewing figures for AEW. MJF has been AEW champion for over a year now and has not been a success. Can we please just admit that this MJF has not worked out like the IWC thought it would? MJF is not a draw. His character is played out, and the minute Tony Khan sees to have him in 5 different feuds at the same time is not good TV at all. Can MJF's run be deemed a flop for AEW? I think it can because, bro, you took the guy you just constantly overexposed him and had him just go out and do the same thing every week. Like if you did a highlight reel of MJF, like his weekly thing, it would 75% of the segments would look exactly the same. He'd be cutting a promo. Somebody would come out and there'd be a long 15-minute segment of them just talking in the ring and stuff and everything. His best work, I think, has been like the vignettes and stuff he does backstage, where it's as short as like he's acting and stuff. There, like I mean, I don't know. He's been atrociously overexposed. It's not his fault. And like right now, it's absurd. He's in a feud with 6 guys, I think. And like they're all I don't know. You can't blame him because he hasn't really you can blame a guy for not being a draw if he goes out on TV and 2 out of the 4 weeks he's on TV, you say, that really wasn't that good. Like he didn't do well. I didn't, but bro, the guy, like I'd say like 90% of the time he nails it on the mic. Would you agree with that?
Well, this guy said something like, and you can read it because I don't remember the exact verbiage, like, yeah, MJF hasn't pounded out like the IWC said it would or something like that.
It's not worked out like the IWC thought it would. His
right.
run.
And we have to admit he's a flop. Okay, so I'll take both those first. No, he is not a flop, and I'm not the IWC. Bro, you don't need to be an expert to see that the most charismatic, most over, one of the biggest merch sellers and great on the mic and good to great matches is him. You can't put the company problems on him. He's doing his part. Yeah, being 5 different feuds is mega exposure. You should want to wait to see him. You should come out once, maybe twice a show. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, would you ever, Conan? And I know there's all different ways to tell a story, but would you ever have your world champion and his focus be this secondary promotion, Ring of Honor's tag team title in a feud? Like going, I think that devalued him,
But this is the point. You can't not look at that guy and not think, wow, if WWE had this guy, imagine what they do with him. And that's the one guy in the roster you're looking at and saying that about. Like that's the one guy that they're looking at and go, we could just, this guy's a great actor. He's great on the mic. It's like, they're
not only that, the fact that he brought it up in promos, besides being a negotiating ploy,
bro, how
he's
huge
thinking
will that
about
be
it
if he does go there? It's like he would have been talking about it the whole time. It's like, that's why I think he's definitely going to go there. It's like you're literally building up your brand enough to where if they want to keep you, they're going to have to pay a fortune, but the WWE will do whatever they can to get you, and you're going to make a fortune on your deal. You know, like Cody did.
And it's next
Cody,
year.
Cody went back for like $3 million a year. Downside. You
Right.
know,
And his own bus and his own dressing room and all the perks and WrestleMania.
And he's friends with MJF. You know, they're probably right. I mean, you know, so, yeah. I mean, next is a Jared Aviat, and the subject is wrestlers who could have done more in acting. Hi, K100 fam. Hope all is well. Over the decades, so many people from wrestling have dabbed in acting, had various roles in film and TV shows. Wrestlers have been everything from leading men in action films to having one-off cameo appearances in comedies. My question to the crew is, which wrestlers or people in the biz do you think had or have the potential to develop great acting careers based on their work in the business? I'm surprised Randy Orton has not done much more acting work, and I also think Shawn Michaels could have done more acting work as well. But what does the crew think? Thank you. All the best, Jarrett. Two guys I see that should be an actor like MJF and Cross. Like I think Cross is like a Hollywood type actor type talent, you know. Yeah, Randy Orton, he's good. Bro, they got a lot of good actors on that show. Sami Zayn's a good actor.
Owens.
Roman is a great actor. You know, it's like, bro, there's tons of them. You know.
Yeah, Jericho. That's what we
Jericho's
do. We act for a
actor.
living.
Yeah. All right.